Hey, so I'm a little late doing this week because my husband needed a ride, so I didn't get to do it on Thursday. So I wanted to focus on some things that I did in the classroom and added to my week every week that has been going very well. I need to quit saying But first of all, I hadn't done this last year. I totally forgot about how I used to use my GPS, but again, things were kind of crazy last year. But I have my GPS up, and to me, that's like where we're going for the week. So right there is where I always put my I can statements for the students. And that way they can see kind of what we're focusing on for the lesson for the week. And then I have these little guys that I made because each one is for a different day. So on Mondays, I call that our think moment. And so it's either a phenomenon that we are using to discuss our week, or it might be a quote. The first one was a quote about science and how we need to constantly be looking and trying new things and problem solving. And it was a really great conversation. And then, those are super quick, like just to kind of start us out. And then I kind of give them an idea of what we're doing for the week. So I have my first agenda page up basically and show them kind of all the materials that are available for their playlist. And then, I promise you next week, I will have you look at the playlist online. I'm going to do a screencast just so I can kind of show what I'm doing at this moment. And then on Tuesday, it used to be Wednesdays, but because of the way our schedule is this year and our blocks, I do it on Tuesday instead, but I call that Cow Joke Tuesday. So if you haven't noticed already, my room has a lot of cows in it, and I'm also a pink diva, but just for fun, I do some absolutely probably the most horrible jokes out there. Jokes on Tuesday, real quick. I give them a quick joke, and then we move on to basically, Tuesdays are still kind of working through their set and get module and me walking around trying to, work with different students on whatever they're working on. And I had, like I said, I don't know if I told you this already, but I had a teacher walk in while I was doing that, and they were like, you have so much going on. And that's the thing with personalized learning. It's a lot. Like, there's kids doing so many different things. I have kids building things because they're past the set and get and working on their DOK4s, which is basically saying they get what the materials are, so they're moving to that creation time. And then I've got kids who are still working on just the book information, and I have kids that are doing doodle notes, and so everybody's kind of moving around, and I let them kind of group themselves on those days based on who's working on what. So it gives them a chance to kind of get out of their major groups and working with other people. And honestly, I do a pretty good job with that. I think so. I mean, that's what I've noticed so far. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, those are our block days. I call that demo day. So I try to do some kind of a demo. If I didn't do the phenomenon on Monday, then I use Wednesday and Thursday for my demo. Or I've got some really good ones that I've been saving on TikTok from some of the science teachers that I've been following. Just some exploratory like demos that you can kind of focus on for whatever the topic is. So like this last week I did the density balls, or I mean not density balls, but momentum balls, where they're all stacked on top of each other and then you drop it and the last one shoots up. And we talked about why it shoots up and where the energy is coming from and related it back to the dominoes from the very first week. So they were really good with that. Unfortunately, I didn't practice a huge amount with my demo thing. So as the day went on, I learned more and more things about why I couldn't get it to work just right. But the kids were super fun about like giving me other, hey, hold it from here or do this or do that. It was super funny. So I love when the kids are just as good at problem solving as I am, or actually they're probably better at it. And I have this really nice area that's right outside my window. So I can literally have kids out there working on solar, like we have solar ovens going on for this last week, and they're actually going to be working on that for 2 weeks. And so they were like doing some things with a marshmallow. And so they were able to work on that outside, and I can still see what they're doing while the people here are working, and I can bounce back and forth. So definitely get my steps in. And then the last day is obviously a fun day, but it is our dance party day. So I do the dance party, and so I have this fabulous button. I don't know if you guys saw this on TikTok or Instagram or something, but it's just a dance party for 30 seconds. So
30-second dance party.
So it's literally like 30 seconds long, and the kids are supposed to dance. And they're still kind of leery right now, but they super like, oh, it's like they're funny. Like they don't want to actually move around, but they are the first ones to tell me when I've forgotten to do it, right? And then, so Fridays are usually celebration days. So the other thing that I do after the dance party is we do the breathing ball. So again, saw this on Instagram, TikTok, something. So we do the breathing ball, and they love this. First of all, everybody always comes up and plays with it, but I have them do a number 1 to 5. I call on somebody, and then we breathe in and breathe out. And I always say breathe in positivity and breathe out negativity. And I'm very silly about it because they're middle school and they're like, okay, whatever. But it's funny, they actually do it. And I talk about how the more you think positive thoughts, the better you will do. If you go into the test thinking you're going to fail it, then you might as well not take it, because you're going to fail it. So take the time to think positive thoughts. And so we do this. It's very quiet in here, and we breathe for like whatever. It's usually like 3 times. And then we take the celebration. So those are my little gimmicks. I think that's part of my personality, is I try as much as possible to make things fun so the time goes quickly. It's not just all just sitting and taking notes. And sometimes I know it feels like that right now. This is first unit. There's not as much hands-on and labs, but there's going to be more of that going into chemistry. The other thing I'm toying with, and I'm going to unfold a little bit more in the next few weeks, is first of all, I'm renewing my national board. So I think I'm going to focus on personalized learning and playlists. Right now I'm grading a huge amount that I don't think I should have to grade, but I don't want them not to do the things that they need to do to get to the test. So I'm working on some different options for that, but I went to a funeral this weekend, and one of the things my husband and I talked about a lot was learning styles and how to make kids or track kids on those who are using their learning styles and those who are not. So I'm going to focus on my first hour, I think, and actually take some data for who's actually using their learning styles and how that's affecting their personalized learning track as well as their final assessment. So I have a few different quick videos that I did on the road to kind of help me think about those things. And then I'm going to get that started. And I did Legends of Learning this last week for extensions when kids were done. And they actually really liked it. So there are a lot of games, but it was still focused on the topic because they're set up to our standards. So it's a free site, and I think there is math and science on it. So super awesome. So I'm gonna get off because I've been talking way too long, as my husband always says, but there's kind of some information about some of the cool things that I'm doing in my class to keep kids motivated. Bye.